Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Anonymous Code. And what a scene that we are greeted with to start this one off. Where we actually finished off last time, Oz wanted to meet with us because, well, he wants to exchange information. And, well, now that we know this whole save load feature, yeah, let's exchange information. And if things go south, we can just reload. And speaking of, I want to just very quickly check our situation here on the loading. Okay, so we do have these two here. This was back when we were still hiding out in that crater, and this was actually just before. So this would be a good one to reload if things, went south. This one probably not so much. That is going a bit far back, and I just got a Steam message, but ignore that. Anyways, yeah. Now that we kind of know how to use this save load system, which I can try to initiate, but it's not going to work every time. I still haven't yet to actually choose when we load back, but I know that option's coming. I know eventually. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. Oh, Momo got some new clothes, by the way, so she isn't looking, I guess, very out there, standing out, if you will. I also have water. Okay, yeah, she's most definitely not from here, which I think I brought up in the last episode. The place Oz chose was a tiny, dirty, old Chinese restaurant. It felt like it was somewhere straight out of the 20th century. There's a little bit of a mistake there. If I'd been alone, I would have needed a whole lot of courage to come in here at all. It really didn't seem like a place with good food. What's going on up there? Super occult news. The worsening space debris problem in the US government's conspiracy to hide the existence of the Black Knight satellite. Okay. But once I saw how excited Momo was, I realized how off my assumption had been. My own share of the ramen and fried rice was already in front of me. This reminded me that I hadn't eaten since yesterday afternoon. I scooped up some fried rice with the China spoon, excited for a mouthful of flavor. Huh. This was pretty bad, actually. It was oily and super salty. As for the ramen, this was the opposite. It had a really light taste. Actually, it didn't taste like anything. You know what? I am going to out myself because I like to do that. I like to make fun of myself. It wasn't until a little over a month ago, that, I actually had never eaten real ramen. We went to a Japanese place and, man, that was good over in Las Vegas. It was a damn good place. I didn't do anything too crazy. I kept mine very mild because I can't handle anything too crazy, but it was still very filling. I don't know, the experience was fulfilling, the food was very filling, let's go with that. And my friend died because, well, not died, but he tackled a very spicy a bowl of ramen, and he actually completed it. He, over all of us, completed his bowl, and his was probably the craziest of them all. Anyways, that was when my eyes met Oz's. I am down for ramen, though. Going forward, I am down for ramen. I looked over to see that very dish in front of both Oz and Nono. Oh man, I should have ordered that too. Time to jump. Why did Momo like this so much anyway? Was she taste deaf or something? Yeah, I mean, if you're not used to this sort of food, I mean, it could be good until you taste an even better variation of it. This was kind of depressing. Now I had to eat this terrible ramen and fried rice. We could jump. We could go back. Now that we know, this is a part of that information gathering. With our plates almost empty, Nono stood up and poked my arm. Nono boldly grabbed her skirt and lifted it up. What the fuck? Suddenly, two mechanical boom arms peeked out from under her skirt. The right arm gripped Nono by the waist, and then sat her on the chair that the left arm had folded into. The left one was wheeled and started spinning in place while Nono was sitting on it.
おお、すごいな。
What the fuck?
でしょでしょ、フェーン現象。ポロタンならそう言ってくれるって思ってた。
Cool molecule. All right. I don't even know what to say on that one, but I'm just very confused by this character. A lot of the characters here have been very out there, but this one in particular is raising some eyebrows.
クマタンラックラクっていうの、ノンノが作ったんだ。
She suddenly started fidgeting for some reason.
ねえポロタン、ノンノね、今フリーなんだけど、モモッチョはポロタンの何なの？
ん？何の話だよ。モモッチョ？
Nono glanced at Momo, who looked well fed and satisfied.
モモッチョはモモッチョでしょ。
I mean, she's just adding another, well, obviously it's going to be different for them, but yeah, she's just adding an M at the
ニム
end.
チンなのね。ポロタンは付き合ってる人いるのって話。
We're dating the grind. Oh, so I guess she was one of those kids who's in a rush to grow up.
なんの、そんなやつに色気づいてんじゃねえ。年を考えろ。
うつつを抜かしてる暇ないんだよ。
Yeah, like I said, we're dating the grind. We are committed to the grind and nothing else.
ポロタンってやっぱりかっこいいね。
だろ？お前も困ってることあったらいつでも俺に言えよ。
わかった言う。
Now, I'm sure the impression is already really great since, you know, he kind of predicted the future a little
あ
bit.
とこれあげる。
なんだこれ。
クマタンシール。
Huh. That it is.
ノンノが作ったガジェットには全部貼ってあるの。
At least that fit her age, yeah. We're kind of getting back to a sense of normalcy here. Slowly, and definitely not fast enough. If she'd given this to me as a peace offering, I had to respond in kind.
今度喫茶シンフォニーに遊びに来いよ。お前も中野シンフォニーズに入れてやる。
本当に本当のコンペイト。
ああ、コンペイトはないけど歓迎するぜ。
Her language use is very strange. She likes to rhyme.
やったー。行く。絶対行く。今日行く。
Or at least that's what we're kind of seeing here, with the translation and localization.
子供を惑わすんじゃねえ。
Nono returned to her seat, satisfied.
ノンノっておっさんの娘なのか？
Yeah, can we get some, like, answers as to who she is? I'm just, you know, very curious. Again, all the characters here just have something going on.
娘じゃねえ。ただの居候だ。
レディーを養えることを喜んだよね。
いいからさっさと食べろ。まだ残ってるだろう。
もうお腹いっぱいなの。
Their situation seemed complicated, but this probably wasn't the time to ask about
おっ
it.
さん、そろそろ本題と行こ
I beckoned Momo over. She tensed up, but came closer. We'd been in the restaurant for like 20 minutes, but there hadn't been a single other customer. Pretty weird for a weekday lunchtime. I was beginning to understand why Oz had picked this place for us to chat.
う。モモを追ってた連中のこと教えろよ。あいつらが軍なのは分かってる。どこの所属だ？
特殊作戦軍。超エリートの極秘部隊だ。ずいぶん生意気だな。
Oh yeah.
俺は俺なりの覚悟で喋ってる。適当なことは言葉にしない。
やっぱ生意気じゃねえか。何にせよ、昨日の件はことごとく記録が抹消されてる。特殊作戦軍の動きだけじゃない。それに関わった人間についてもほぼ全てだ。
Does that include the police, you know, trying to, you know, catch us? Not arrest us, but custody. Put us into custody. They want to question us, or at least Oz did. And that includes my crimes, huh?
そういうのは普通、軍だけじゃできねえ。永田町も絡んでると見て間違いないだろう。
It was starting to sound like this guy had connections in the government, as well as the police.
で、あんたはその軍とどういう関係だ？
俺は何でもやだ。依頼を受けて調査をする。
探偵みたいなもんか。
Yeah, that sounded cool. Way better than hacker work anyway.
今はある依頼で外機関を調べてるんだが。
それって外級 CDC があるところだっけ？
Okay, hold on. That seems important, as many things in the tips list are. The QCDC, short for Quantum Com Development Center, and it refers to supercomputers that use quantum computers. Each one has a non-versatile calculation-focused quantum annealing machine at its core, while the rest of the device is comprised of the versatile transistor computers that were commonplace in supercomputers until the 2020s, sometimes abbreviated further to simply QC. Alright, I think we can remember that. Gaia was one of the most powerful QCDCs in Japan. No, in the whole world. From what I could remember, it was kept at some facility in Uminomori.
その施設を24時間体制で警備しているのが特殊作戦軍と言ったら？
へえ。
He took out a piece of paper and placed it on the counter.
紙の写真？
悪いか。
いや、セキュリティ意識高いじゃん。
Yeah, you gotta keep things more physical, local, off the internet, if you will. I wasn't being sarcastic. The best way to prevent data theft was to avoid putting any data on the internet in the first place. The photo had been taken with an ultra-telephoto lens, and it showed soldiers guarding something. Tatted Baldy Builder was among them.
グレアム・キングリー陸軍参査。特殊作戦軍の隊長だ。
Now, I'm sure we have not seen the last of him. He seems to be a significant character of some sort, and that's why we keep on seeing scenes with him, with that one guy that was accompanied by that boy. So all these characters here that we keep on seeing will have significance for sure. This guard for sure. For sure.
奴らが守ってるのは外 QCDC の計算リソースの大部分を使ったアプリケーションだ。ただしそれは表向きは8年前に開発が凍結されたことになってる。
凍結？
名前はガイア。
Oh yeah.
量子コンピューターを使った地球シミュレーター。
And we don't even know the half of it. An Earth simulator, huh? Oz showed me another photo. It looked like a cutout from an old newspaper.
12年前、文科省、経産省、防衛省が共同で立ち上げたプロジェクトガイアの中で外機関は発足した。誰もが未来が見える魔法の箱を欲しがったんだ。
Oh, technology, how scary you are.
でも未来予測は核爆弾より脅威だってんで、結局作るのやめたんだろ？
If the simulations were advanced enough, they could even allow access to highly classified information, like other countries' nuclear codes. And I know a lot of people are or a lot of countries and regions are very, very strict on what is shown by satellites and everything. And, I mean, we have so much going on out in space today. I'm sure, you know, far into the future, for these supercomputers to work, especially the Gaia, I'm sure that it's utilizing every bit of information possible. Everybody is a tracking device. That was the kind of thing these simulators were capable of. That's why various countries held a meeting and agreed to cease development of their Earth simulators. It was a pretty big deal back then.
そうだ。世界中で反対運動まで起きてた。どこの国も開発は続けてるさ。
I mean, everybody wants to be on top. It makes sense.
日本も例外じゃないってわけか。
Oz nodded.
ただ、ガイアが開発を再開したのには他にきっかけがある。
He gave me another photo. This one seemed like a screen capture from some news show.
サッドモーニング直後の話だ。あるハッカーが外機関にハッキングを仕掛けた。そいつは管理システムを完全に乗っ取り、凍結されたガイアに関する全ての情報を盗み取っていった。
I'd never heard about this. If this stuff was true, it really didn't seem like something people should be discussing so openly in some rundown Chinese restaurant.
自分の能力をひけらかしたってわけ？
As a lot of, you know,
やつ。
I don't want to say the, shoot, what is the terminology? Low tier hackers, I don't know. There are a lot of people who just like to show off. I mean, to have the skills to be able to breach and do this and that, yeah, I mean, a lot of people just want to be able to show that off. I don't think they're necessarily trying to commit crimes or do anything too malicious, but they do because they know how to, and they just show off. Script kiddies, that's the terminology. I was like, I know that was used earlier here. Oh, there we go. The bow tie boy from the chopper.
蘇我アスマ。強襲部隊に囲まれながら、当時12歳だったこいつは、自分がガイアを完成させてやるから雇えとほざいたらしい。後に政府は、こいつを外機関の主任技術研究員に据えて、秘密裏にガイアの開発を再開させた。敵として排除するより、味方につけてガイアを開発させた方が得策だと考えたんだろう。
で、今も極秘裏に開発中だから、軍の秘密部隊が警備してるってことか。
And I'm sure that's like a constant thing, too.
正確には少し違うな。ガイアはおそらく、もう完成してる。特殊作戦軍が外機関の警備に配置されたのは今年に入ってからだ。
Well, as we found out in the last episode, the Gaia wasn't necessarily in maintenance, as was told to all those lovely governmental people, but that kid, he's definitely looking into, you know, the fact that things have changed. These simulations aren't playing out correctly, and I'm sure it's in regards to this lovely save and load system.
ちなみにその直前に行方不明になった人間がいてな。外務省アジア太陽州局の局長って大物なんだが、最後の足取りは外機関で途絶えてる。
Well, that kind of reeked. Assuming Oz wasn't bullshitting me anyway. The Gaia QCDC was known to the public and provided calculation services and the like. Results of research programs using the Gaia QCDC would be broadcast on the news sometimes. But Gaia was something so classified that the public wasn't even told that its development had resumed. And the army was there to keep anything about it from leaking out. Well, I think it kind of leaked out a little. So basically, Gaia was at the heart of a huge conspiracy. Oh, here we go, more conspiracy shit. Here we go, gamers. It never ends. Oz shifted his gaze to Momo, who was listening to our conversation. Wait, what did he say? Hold on, how do I backlog? What did he say here? Keep anything from leaking out. Gaia was something so classified. Public wasn't even told about its development. Oh wait, no, we're going up. This is backwards. Yeah, so he doesn't even necessarily know why she was being chased, but she is bound to know.
こっちの情報は話したぞ。次はそっちの番だ。ジョーちゃん、今の俺の話に出てきた連中で、誰か一人でも知ってるやつはいたか？
I don't know if she'll speak here.
だったらなんで特殊作戦軍に追われてた？あんたは一体何者だ？
Our eyes met. I'd convinced her that if she wanted to learn anything from Oz, she would have to share something too. I nodded, and Momo gathered her resolve, sighed, and looked at us.
これから話すことは内密にお願いします。私の目的は世界を救うことです。
Ah. Alright, just like all the other science adventure titles, this truly is a science adventure game. There was, like, no real suspense or, like, anything crazy there in that scene, I do have to admit. What's going on here? Well, I was just gonna mention that, yeah, that was not, like, anything too crazy. I know that was supposed to seem suspenseful, but it wasn't. Though, I do have to wonder, how is she going to accomplish this? I mean, there has to be more details. It was a private room located within the Gaia Institution. One of the walls was made of glass, a large window to an expanse of high-rise buildings along the coast. The room belonged to the head researcher, Asuma Soga. He wasn't present right now, however. Major Graham Kingley was there instead, accompanied by 6 armed soldiers. They'd burst into the room and secured it.
Alpha team, phase 2 開始.
What are they doing?
了解。phase 2開始.
Doing as Graham ordered, Alpha Team started using heavy-looking sensors on the many stuffed animals in the room's corner. They were searching for wiretaps and the like.
習志野、ウラノスの現在地は？
首都高5号線を北上中。あと7分で美女木ジャンクションに到着。
妙な動きがあったらすぐ知らせろ。
了解。
ターゲット B 異常なし。金属反応はありません。ターゲット A 異常なし。
3 of the 6 soldiers were using detectors to scan the stuffed animals. After being handed the scanned animals, The others took out their knives and
ターゲット B の解体開始
forced them into the toys' stomachs. Scanning alone couldn't guarantee that there were no wiretaps. Just to be safe, they pulled out the cotton stuffing and thoroughly checked inside each one. There were fewer than 10 in total. Some were far larger than others, though, so it would take time to remove all the cotton and examine them. This sure is very interesting. Asuma Soga and Iwin Okuda had taken a car to go to a meeting half an hour ago. Graham had taken this opportunity to commence this operation. The objective was to investigate the stuffed animals that Iwin regularly bought for Asuma. Graham suspected that they had wiretaps inside. Iwin Okuda was an engineer belonging to a national research company. He had been a part of Project Gaia since before its development was frozen. He'd simply been another member of the project back then, but now he was someone you could call Asuma's right-hand man. Graham believed that this was the result of both his skill as an engineer as well as his ability to keep Asuma satisfied. What is his name? Asuma? That's how I'm pronouncing it. Asuma? That doesn't sound right. Asuma used Iwin as his own attendant, keeping him close by at all times. After the AOAB Director General was exposed as a spy 1 year ago, security for both Gaia and Asuma had greatly increased. I think the reason why I'm questioning my pronunciation of his name is because it sounds like Asuna, and we don't talk about SAO here on the channel. Iwin was the one who shot the spy that day. Graham always felt something was off about Iwin. There was no particular reason, but if he had to give one, it would be his soldier's intuition. He looked into Iwin's past just in case, but found nothing incriminating. However deep he dug, there was no indication the man was shady, unless he's really good with covering up anything else he's doing. Graham couldn't shake that strange feeling, though, even now. In his mind, it was still possible that Iwin Okuda was an industry spy, and Graham had planned this operation to confirm it.
ライノリーダー、こちら習志野。ウラノスは予定通り和光インターを降りました。
Today, Asuma had gone to a meeting at Riken. He wouldn't be back for at least 2 hours. What are they going to do with all these stuffed animals that they've cut up
追跡を続けろ
and gouged their cotton out on? Are they going to replace them, or are they just going to sew them back up? What's going to happen?
習志野、了
Because
解。
he'll find out that people were here.
あといくつ残ってる
それで最後です
The soldier pointed at the bear Iwin had bought most recently, that was in the car. Graham took the bear by the head. All right. And tore it open with his own bare hands. He forced his hand inside and examined it without care or restraint.
ターゲット I 異常なし
全ターゲットの検査完了異常なし
作戦をフェーズ3へ
What is phase 3? I mean, they just ripped up everything. There's no signs of there being any wiretaps or anything that's recording him. They retrieved the torn stuffed animals and began carefully replacing them with exact substitutes that they prepared. There we go. This was to keep anyone from realizing the operation had taken place at all.
フェーズ3完了
よし撤収証拠を残すな
Well, this was pointless. I mean, I guess they found out that there's more than likely nothing here, but then again, I mean, this is a little sus, and they're suspecting him for an intuition. I don't know. It's a little much. As they prepared to leave, the stuffed animal remains in hand. The door suddenly opened, and the soldiers ran right into the people on the other side. Oh boy. It was Asuma Soga, the owner of the room, and Iwin Okuda. Is this the first time we're actually seeing their sprites, or their character models, or whatever they are? Iwin is a haunting-looking man, I do have to say. Graham had to keep himself from nodding. He certainly was wondering. The operations room in Camp Narashino was tracking Asuma and Iwin. According to Narashino, the pair were about to arrive in Riken in Saitama. Ah.
外出は偽装か
It took an extremely skilled hacker to fool the army systems. That didn't surprise Graham, though. He knew Asuma was capable of such a feat.
いつ気づいた
お前頭悪すぎない。僕に隠し事できるとまだ思ってるわけ。もう1年ぐらいここにいるんだから。そろそろ
Oh,
分かれ
Gaia.
よ。
There you go. Is there anything this kid doesn't know, minus our main character, that is?
ガイアか。この作戦はセキュリティ上必要な対応だった。事後報告になったことは申し訳ない。
I mean, yeah, intuition though, you know, like, I don't know. It's good to suspect a lot of people, especially those closest to, you know, the one that they're supposed to be highly protecting,
出てけ。
along with Gaia. Asuma had already stopped listening to Graham. Instead, he sat down and began doing something on his cube-shaped input device. Graham told his soldiers to leave and then did the same himself. The outside scenery suddenly changed. It wasn't the outside, but an artificial visual. What it actually showed was the finest trait of the Earth simulator, Gaia, its spherical monitor.
そう。僕を騙すことも隠し事をすることもできないんだ。なのに、なんでだ。なんであの女の時はシミュレーション通りにならなかった。
The thing with the just the entire situation. Yeah. It's like something went against the simulation. That whole saving and loading thing was never accounted for. It can't be. That's something completely outside of its scope.
Asuma.
The last person here besides Asuma, Iwan, called out to him, triggering an irritated scowl.
誰がここにいろって言ったよ。お前もさっさと出てけ。
政府要請による捕獲作戦はすでに終了した。これ以上この案件に関わることは禁止されている。
それに僕が従うとでも。
最初は乗り気ではなかったはずだ。
最初はね。シミュレーション通りじゃなかった理由を放置できないだろう。僕のガイアは完璧じゃないといけないんだ。
Yeah, I get the frustrations and why he's going to stay latched on to this whole thing. His creation isn't performing as it should.
君の駆け落ち成功いや失敗記念と相崎さんそして包丁さんを歓迎して
Yay, I think.
Let's Symphony!
Okay.
Symphony!
This guy sure is something.
なんだよ、その変な掛け声は。
Also, yeah, the way his tie was bouncing up and down, that still gets me. After our chat with Oz, we went to Symphony, where we were greeted by Wind. He was convinced Momo and I were eloping, and wanted to throw us a welcome party for some reason. And, well, this was the situation now.
相崎さんってどこ出身
Is this a moment to jump, by the way?
迷惑なんだけど。
Wait, did he ask where she's from? Or where they were going to okay, yeah, just where she's from. Is she just making it up, or does she not actually know? I'm thinking the latter.
ひょーイタリアチャオチャオアルデンテじゃん
アルデンテじゃん。
高岡くんに本場のパスタ作ってあげなよ
Momo was a bit overwhelmed, but there was something about Win's energy that compelled her to join in. November 25th's mini lotto, 13 winners so far, 11 million yen prize pool. Numbers are 14, 18, 23, 29, 31. We could take that information with us straight to the bank, actually. We can we can try to pull a successful Steins Gate
やっ
here.
ぱ空気が華やぐよねフローラルだよフローラル
そもそもウィンドは中野シンフォニーズのメンバーじゃないだろ。
He was just some weirdo who liked coming here. He enjoyed hanging out with us, but he never showed any intention of actually joining.
このレトロな店の雰囲気がよくってさ
そうか？俺は今すぐにでも出て行きたいけどな。
The person who owned this place was one of my late dad's regular customers back when he used to do his hacker work. Okay, so there's already a family connection here. No wonder he doesn't want to be here anymore. And, of course, he wants to move on from this whole hacking deal. The jobs were never that big, though. My dad just had to locate people or objects, stuff like that. After he died, Symphony's owner redirected those jobs to me instead. I was left without a single relative, and had to feed myself somehow, so I had no choice but to take them on. The owner ended up letting me use this place. Well, it's more like he gently forced me to use it, and I could appreciate someone who was worried for me, but I'd kind of be funneled into doing hacker work, so that level of consideration wasn't totally welcome.
相崎さんも包丁さんもこれからじゃんじゃん訪ねてきて、僕がいつでも歓迎するからさ。
ふーん。
Oh,
ウィン君にとって
I forgot about
私は
her.
女子にカウントされないんだ。
ああ、嘘嘘。僕はヨミちゃんとイチャイチャできさえすればハッピーな男だよ。他の女子は眼中になしさ。
And remember, guys, she's not real.
ウィンドさんはさっきから一体誰と話を。
Oh, yeah, she wouldn't know.
ヨミちゃん見えてなかったか。ごめんごめん。後で改めて紹介するよ、マジ。
あ、はい。ありがとうございます。
Momo was acting like nothing had happened, but the stuff that she had told us at the Chinese restaurant was straight up unbelievable. I could see that Oz was dumbfounded, but my face was probably about as shocked. All right, yeah, let's go back and see what she was talking about
私の
here.
目的は世界を救うことです。
And how are you going to do that, and why?
2038年1月19日3時14分7秒。世界は終末を迎えます。
Oh, fun, that's coming up.
マジかよ。
It wasn't so much Momo's statement about the world ending that surprised me. It was the fact that Momo was the one saying it. It seemed way too insane to be real. Yeah, again, we're kind of coming up on it. I'd convinced her to talk, but I was hearing it all for the first time, just like Oz.
私の本当の名前はルシア。
Oh. Wow, she's just revealing her name already. Let's fucking go.
コリッサ・ケントというハッカーを探すために日本に来ました。
Kent Horisha?
誰だ？
彼は今シケイダ3301と名乗っています。
What?
死刑だって確か。
クエスト。
はい。
Quests was a term used for certain events. There was this one godlike hacker causing trouble all over the world. They could do stuff that seemed like wizardry. Their name was Cicada 3301. Their name had been well known since their first appearance in the early 2010s, but someone calling themselves Cicada 3301 had appeared just last year. It wasn't clear whether it was the same person, but the newer one seemed to be sending challenges to hackers all over the world, or all around the world. They went on 4chan's hacker board and posted crazy difficult puzzles involving the real world. And those puzzles hinted at tragic events that actually happened soon after. Cicada 3301 was the person causing the incidents. All the evidence was situational, but it seemed almost certain that that was the case. Or they have this whole saving and loading thing like we do, and they're able to actually, see things happen and jump back and, work with that information. I don't know. Time travel. Yeehaw. It seemed like Cicada 3301 was challenging people. But why? Their actions were almost inviting people to solve the puzzles and use the hints to prevent the incidents, instead of actually telling them what the incidents are, huh? The hackers of the world were up to the challenge, of course. The hackers on 4chan went and named Cicada 3301's posts quests. And every time a new quest appeared, all the hackers rushed to complete them, eager to stop any incidents from taking place. So the first one was in New Orleans, and then Seattle, Warsaw, and Dubai. There had been 4 quests so far. Hackers from all over the world had taken them on, but not a single quest was completed. Oh, and yeah, there were deaths there in Seattle. Cool, lovely. Oh, I did not read whatever that said. The first incident was pretty tame, but the second one resulted in actual deaths. By now, Cicada 3301 was widely regarded as a criminal who just wanted to show off their brain power.
防御システムを超えて侵入しています。
The Vatican? I didn't expect to hear that.
その行為はすぐに発覚し、彼は捕まりました。しかし、教皇をはじめとしたバチカンの上層部は彼を処罰したりせず、その代わりに主任コンピューター技師として採用したのです。
Again, the Vatican?
その後、
Really? We're going that
彼は
route?
バチカンの QCDC、ネクロピルグリマージと地球シミュレータの開発に従事しました。
Oh, lovely. That was basically the same story as Asuma Soga's. Had Asuma copied Cicada 3301's method?
ですが2012年、ネクロピルグリマージ完成間近のある日、 彼は突如として姿を消しました。失踪
As
した理
people
由
tend to
は
do, that
バ
becomes
チカンのメイ
significant.
ンコンピュータに隠されたある重大な機密を誤って見てしまったからだと推測されます。その機密とはすなわちファティマ第3の予言。
What? All right, hold on. I guess we got to read these tips. We got to be fully up to speed here. So Cicada 3301, a mysterious person who in January 2012 uploaded a strange puzzle code to 4chan, an online image board. Now, along with the code, the person identified themselves as 3301 and claimed to be looking for highly intelligent individuals. They also uploaded an image of a cicada, which led to them being called Cicada 3301. The code was extremely difficult to solve, with every solution yielding yet another puzzle. This wasn't limited to the internet either. Printed cicada posters with QR codes appeared in 14 major cities all over the world, including Warsaw, Paris, Seoul, and Sydney. The code uploads continued for a while until a month after the first upload they wrote, "We have now found the individuals we sought, thus our month-long journey ends." With that post as their last, Cicada 3301 vanished. There was another Cicada 3301 post made in January 2013, but nothing came of it, and there were no new posts afterwards until May 2036. That's quite the fucking leap. So the third prophecy of Fatima, one of the secrets told by the 1917 Marian apparition in the Portuguese town of Fatima. The Virgin Mary first appeared before the three children Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, or is it Jacinta? Let's go with Jacinta, sounds cool. On May 13th, telling them to gather at the same place on the 13th of every month, and indeed, she appeared the following month. The rumors of the apparition began to spread, and by the 13th, there were 5,000 people watching as Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta were bestowed three secrets. The first told of the end of World War I and a great misfortune that would come during the next Pope's tenure. The second told of a strange light that would be seen at night before the next great misfortune, claiming that it was a warning sign from God himself. Okay, and the third was a secret the children were only supposed to reveal in 1960, but they told the adults regardless, and the information was said to be so terrifying that the Pope at the time had fainted upon hearing it. Jesus. The revelation of the third prophecy was delayed past 1960, and there was even a hijacking incident in 1981 where the perpetrator demanded that the Pope reveal the third secret. The Pope ended up revealing the secret in the year 2000, claiming that it referred to the attempted assassination of the Pope in 1981. It was so anticlimactic that rumors about it persist to this day, claiming it was fake and that the actual secret was something far, far worse. Okay, wait a minute. There's something I just want to quickly check here. If we just, scroll down, not too far. Let's see. Let me see here. Lucia. So she says that her real name is Lucia, and that's one of the names there.
なるほどな。ファティマの予言はオカルト陰謀論じゃ散々使い古されたネタだ。俺もいろんなパターンを知ってる。フィクションも含めてな。
Was this guy into the occult? Oh, you have to be in this business.
ジョーちゃんが知ってる第三の予言の内容はどんなものだったんだ？
先ほど言った通りです。2038年1月19日3時14分7秒。世界は終わる。
The Secrets of Fatima. I had heard of them, but I didn't know much about them.
このままでは誰も生き残れません。
Alright, what do we got in this article here? It's probably, well, I don't know, let's read it. It's good to have some information. This is back in 2020. On May 13th, 1917, the Virgin Mary was said to have descended upon the... Wait. I feel like, you know what? Yeah, whatever. We just read the fucking tip. I think we got our information here. This doesn't seem to be anything too different here.
彼こそが救世主かもしれないんです。なので、何としても彼を見つけなくちゃいけないんです。
Yeah, you seem to be going in a little blind here, though.
そいつがどこにいるのか、多少でも見当はついてるのか？
最後の目撃情報がこの日本でした。
Okay, but Japan's a pretty big place. You gotta narrow that down a little. So that was why Momo came here, huh? Though,
救世主
Cicada 3301. I really didn't believe he was anything like that. Sure, his ability as a hacker was like monstrous. But if you ask me, he was just some shithead who liked showing off. I didn't think most hackers were unlikable, but this guy was on another level.
2012年ってのは面白いな。
Oz suddenly trailed off, muttering something about how that was when the Pope had suddenly resigned and the papal conclave had to be held. Hold on. I don't know things. A papal conclave is a gathering of cardinals to elect the next head of the Catholic Church, the Pope. Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I did not know. The voting is held in the Vatican's Sistine Chapel after the incumbent Pope either dies or resigns. Up until October of 1978, the voting cardinals would be locked into the chapel, unable to leave until a new Pope was elected. That sounds fun. That doesn't sound weird at all, and I'm sure that's exactly how they do it, because, you know, religion.
そこに軍はどう絡んでくる？バチカンとは何のつながりもねえぞ。
軍の連中は最終的に羽田で待機してたバチカンの人間にモモを引き渡した。じゃなくて、そうするつもりだった。
なんで？
さあな。グルだったんじゃないか。
And that's all we know.
お前はなんで知ってる？
I could have told him that we'd both saw it with our own eyes, but explaining it would be a pain in the ass.
俺が独自に調べたってことにしといてくれ。
わかった。いろいろ聞かせてもらってありがとうよ。興味深い話だったが、こっちの求めてたものじゃなかったな。
What was he looking
お
for?
っさんは外機関の何を調べてるんだよ。
ああ、国家絡みのいろいろだ。それ以上は聞くな。
Oh, really?
のんの、帰るぞ。
まだ食べ終わってないよ。
いいから帰るぞ。
もう残すなって言ったのに。じゃあね、ポロタン、モモッチョ。
Wait, how is it that they come to our headquarters then? Our place of business, if you will. Oz kindly paid for the four of us and then walked out. We had just been told some absurd shit, but it looked like he had taken it all in his stride. As I was wondering why, Oz beckoned me over from outside the restaurant. Because...
お前にもう一つ聞きたいことがあった。昨日あの場所に俺が来ると知ってた口ぶりだったな。いつから見張ってた？
見張ってない。俺は世界をセーブしたり、
We're just gonna straight up tell him.
アプリを持ってるんだよ。
We're just gonna let that out.
それもファティマの予言と関係してんのか？
さあな。
Oz sighed and handed me a piece of paper.
何これ？
俺の事務所の名刺だ。
うわ、紙の名刺なんて初めて見た。
また何か
Oh, the
話す気になったら
future sure is scary.
ジョーちゃんにもそう伝えとけ。
I mean, we all still use business cards today, so it might be a while before we phase those out. Not even I could tell how much of what Momo had said was true. If it was all an act, though, she was one hell of an actress. And either way, if she wanted to find someone, I'd just help her.
これはなんていうゲームですか？ライフゲームだよ。
Oh, like the actual game of life? Like the real one? A simulation game thought up by British mathematician John Horton Conway in 1970. It is functionally an extremely simplified recreation of the process by which life is born, evolves, and goes extinct. The basis of this game is the cellular auto... Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I know this. I studied this shit, actually. Wow, all right. Not the game of life I was thinking about. No, I actually took a bio-inspired machine learning class back when I was still studying computer science. I don't remember too much of it, but we did take up cellular automaton, and more specifically, I think we did Brian's brain or some shit like that. I don't know. Obviously, we did look into, you know, this, the game of life specifically, and like a few other things too, and that was like what we researched. I don't remember what everybody else researched, but yeah, okay, I remember this. That's cool. I like when things kind of like come together There was one time when I was still recording Wonderful Everyday, or Subahibi, that is still on the channel. There was, I guess, a chapter where things were just bumfuck crazy. My friend keeps on inviting me to fucking CSGO. But there was like a chapter where things were just bumfuck crazy, and there was like these logical statements that were being thrown out for some reason. And I was able to read them because they were real logical statements, like the symbols and everything. So I like it when things kind of just like come back around. It wasn't all bullshit. Momo was staring into the screen of a tiny device as she pressed its buttons. She seemed real captivated.
いや、別にいい。ライフゲームって BMI でもできるだろ？
できるよ。やり方知ってる？ノンノがレクチャーしてあげる。
Oh no.
Let's lecture! ジャスミンちゃん。
その時はよろしく。
今からでもいいのに。
I'm good. I think it's CSGO time anyways, according to my friends.
Yo, ポロン、クロス、田淵モータースだ。
Oh, you're the guy that's in charge of fixing our broken ass bike. Cool. Yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I think this is a good episode, you know? I think we covered some good information, and look at this. What is this? Okay, so it looks like we have a save here as we re-entered. Interesting. We might be needing to make a jump at some point. I'm feeling like we're going in a little deep here. There might be a point where we might need to jump back. I don't know when that point will be, but we do have all of our information. If Oz, you know, double crosses us or something like that, then we can jump back here. If something happens, I guess, after our meeting with Oz, then at least we have this, and we can go from there. But okay, we have some options here. Cool. I like it. I don't know when the time will be in order to use these options, but they are there. And I'm sure we will use them eventually for some reason. But yeah, thank you all for watching this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. And I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.